Hello everyone, Craig Pritts here from My Benefit Advisor, coming to you live today on the Pittsburgh North Regional Chamber's Facebook page. Today, just want to talk a little bit about some of the confusion regarding the CARES Act and the recent passing of the American Rescue Plan Act. First, the CARES Act. This was passed back in March 27th of 2020, and the CARES Act included things like the Family First Coronavirus Relief Act that extended things like sick leave and time off for family leave. It also included recovery rebates. That was the $1,200 check that we got as adults, $500 for the kids. The CARES Act included things like the expansion of unemployment benefits. There was $150 billion put aside for state and local relief funds. And it included, probably the thing that most businesses were concerned about, was the creation of the Paycheck Protection Program. Those were some of the things that came under the CARES Act. The CARES Act also included things like some changes to spending accounts, which has been expanded into the American Rescue Plan Act, and we'll talk about that now. So as of March 10th, Congress signed, and on March 11th was passed into law, the American Rescue Plan Act. This has three key areas that businesses need to be aware of, and primarily two of them are going to affect businesses. The first one is the extension or the expansion of subsidies and who is eligible for subsidies. When we talk about subsidies, we're referring to the individual plans available on the marketplace. Pennsylvania now uses penny instead of the federal marketplace. And what the American Rescue Plan Act did was it expanded, number one, who qualifies for a subsidy based on income, but also increase the amount of subsidies. The second part of the American Rescue Plan Act, and probably the one that most people need to be concerned about, was the COBRA subsidies that were passed and the second chance letters that have to go out. So first and foremost, the law was passed and it says it applies to all 50 states and it applies to COBRA. But there's two parts of COBRA. If you're an employer that has 20 or more employees on 50% or more of your typical business days, you're subject to federal COBRA, we'll call it, which means that you have to offer COBRA when an employee leaves and up for a certain amount of time and certain benefits. If you are less than 20 employees on 50% or more of your typical business days, you become subject to what most states have as some sort of continuation of coverage. In PA, we call it PA Mini COBRA. Just for some clarification, this law will apply to both federal and Mini COBRA. Pennsylvania is still working on some final details, such as who is eligible, and they're working on a couple other things, but we do know Pennsylvania will have this apply to Mini COBRA. We know that the insurance carriers will pay for the COBRA to help the employer. As it applies to federal COBRA, here's what this means. COBRA is being subsidized 100% for both federal and Mini COBRA from April 1st, 2021 until September 30th, 2021. What that means is anybody who was eligible for COBRA for certain reasons, laid off due to being downsized, reduced hours, there are certain people who qualify for the COBRA and will qualify for this subsidy. But what this means is people who would have access to COBRA during that time period. Even if my COBRA started months ago and I didn't take it back then, but I would still be on it had I taken it, this applies to me. So the first part is COBRA is subsidized 100% during the time period I mentioned, April 1st, 2021, September 30th, 2021. COBRA is paid 100% by the employer. The employer recoups the money through a tax credit. That's if you're over 20 employees. Remember, if you're under 20 and subject to Mini COBRA, the insurance companies we're hearing are going to take care of that. Details to come on that. But there's also a second chance letter that has to go out, and this is confusing for employers as well. What does the second chance letter mean? That means if somebody turned down COBRA but would be eligible or would still be on it today had they elected it, they have to be offered a COBRA letter as well. So there's a lot of confusing changes that happened under the American Rescue Plan Act as it applies to COBRA. Last part of it was the expansion of things like tax credits for emergency paid sick and family leave, as well as dependent care assistance. And this was originally part of the CARES Act. It was just expanded through the American Rescue Plan Act. I know this is a lot of information. I know this is very confusing to everybody out there. Point we want to make with all this is, be aware of this, be on top of it. If you're looking for resources, reach out to the chamber, reach out to my benefit advisor. If you are a chamber member, these are services that we can help you with. We can help you understand the changes in the laws. We do a lot of education, and we have services to help throughout the process as well. So thank you so much, everyone. Thanks for tuning in today. Again, Craig Pritts, my benefit advisor. Have a wonderful day.